So I was planning on doing just a review for the movie Babylon, but this 1923 show is really starting to pop off, so I figured I'd throw it in there, do two reviews at once in the latest episode of Skeet Skeet Dee Bop Bop Doo. Couple things, yeah. So Babylon starts off terrible. Like the first 5-10 minutes, I'm sitting there going, "Oh my god, what am I watching? Why didn't I just go see Avatar?" So the first 10 minutes, in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and this is a 3 hour long movie, which it's way too long, but that's another issue. The first 10 minutes of it, you get an elephant pooping, like a POV view of elephant poop, like you're right up in there, and then they go to this party, this Hollywood party slash orgy, where this guy is getting peed on by this lady, and then they have this phallic object, like a male appendage, and it's on a pogo stick. So they're jumping up and down on this object with a pogo stick, and then the object ejects a certain gelatinous. You get it, okay? That's all in the first, I think, the first 10 minutes. But after all that, it kind of settles in, and it's not terrible. So the story revolves around basically three people here. You got Brad Pitt, you've got Margot Robbie, and Diego Cal. He plays a guy named Manny. So Margot is this aspiring. Oh, she's not even an actress. She just really wants to be an actress, and she goes to this party that we just talked about to kind of meet some people, and she ends up meeting Manny, this guy here, and he wants to get into the business. He's not in the business, but he wants to get into it. Now, also at the party is Brad Pitt's character. He is like a big time actor, and this is during like 1920s, 1930s, kind of the silent film era. And so he's a big time actor during the silent film era. So Brad Pitt ends up just getting wasted at this party, and Manny ends up taking him back to his house. And because he does that, because he helps Brad Pitt out, he says, "You know what? I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you on, and just kind of the bottom, basically intern. I'm going to give you a spot, and you can be in the movie and help it get made." So he ends up starting to work on this set, and it's this big, epic production. There's like, battles and I think chariots and stuff like that. So they end up running out of film or a camera or something, and he ends up going all the way back to Los Angeles, getting the camera and taking it back. So he ends up, getting in a favorable place with some of the producers. So he slowly starts rising up the ranks of the studio, and he kind of does that the entire movie. And while he's doing that, Margot Robbie gets her shot at silent films, and she's like this big national sensation in the silent films. And also the whole time you have Brad Pitt, also like the big name in the silent movie era. But the silent films, obviously, they don't last forever. Eventually, they give way to the talkies, and that is what they were called back then, because before that, it was just silent movies, where someone would be on screen, and then they would just show a screen with the dialogue. There wasn't actual dialogue in the movies until talkies came along. And in the movie, Diego character Manny, he kind of gets an early clue that talking movies are going to be the way of the future, so he kind of lets the studios know. And that is bad news for silent film actors like Brad Pitt's character. What is his name? Jack Conrad. It's bad news for him. And there's a really interesting scene in it. It's actually this one right here, where they're first getting to use audio, and it's this scene here where she's supposed to walk in, and they have the camera. The cameras were so loud that they had to put them in these boxes. They called them hot boxes, and there was like a camera operator in there, and it was so the microphone wouldn't pick up the camera sound. So this was the scene where she would walk in, and there was like a little X on the ground, so she had to stand on that, which was right underneath the microphone that they had elevated, 10 feet in the air, something like that. So the whole sequence is them doing take after take because she would walk too far, or someone would walk in and mess up the sound. Just the entire sequence was great, and this whole movie is basically just like a love letter to filmmaking, which I liked. I thought that part was great. So Margot Robbie's character, this one here named Ellie, I believe. Let me see here. Nellie. Nellie Leroy, that's right. Yeah. So Nellie Leroy is becoming a big sensation, a superstar, and Manny is rising up the ranks at the studio. All this is happening while tradition or what we know as movies, what they called talkies back then, were becoming more prominent, and guys like Brad Pitt's character were kind of getting left behind. I think this happened quite a bit with after the silent films. A lot of the silent film actors didn't adapt, and they were just kind of lost to history. So Jack, Brad Pitt's character, he struggles with not being able to be as successful as he used to be, and this is kind of a nice message. And this is really, I think, the whole kind of love of movies comes from the idea, and this is they bring this up in the movie, that 100 years from now, someone can turn on your movie and relate to you. So that's basically Brad's um, arc, or Jack's arc in this. Margot, she ends up also, the talkies aren't really great for her, and she also kind of gets older. She gets into drugs and like gang activity, and she goes from the top to the bottom. And then the main guy, Manny, just keeps going up the ranks, and he eventually ends up being basically like the head of a studio. So it's not bad. It's also just really not that good. And I think it was like 3.5 hours. It's over 3 hours. I think it was close to 3.5 hours. Way too long. It could have been maybe an hour shorter. But again, it's not terrible, but you don't have to see it. And I would definitely recommend not going to a theater to see it like I did. But yeah, it's like a 2 out of 5. You can miss it. You're not going to miss much. If you can get through the first 10 minutes, it's not terrible, but also, I mean, it's 2 out of 5. So that's the first one. The next review is 1923. This is the latest show in the Yellowstone universe. This is the one with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, and I don't know anybody else in this, but they're good. Everybody in this is good. If you saw the 1883 one on Paramount Plus, this is also on Paramount Plus. If you saw the 1883 one on Paramount Plus, this is kind of a sequel to it. It doesn't have any of the same actors. So in the 1883 one, it dealt with kind of the immigration across the country, the Oregon Trail type stuff. In this one, you're seeing a lot of the first cars in the country. You're also seeing electronics. I don't know if this is true, but in one of the episodes, they go to town, and they have the salesman who's showing off what a washing machine is, and they haven't seen a washing machine or a refrigerator, and he's not selling them. He works for like the electric company, and they would I guess build electricity out to your place, and then you had to rent like the washing machine and refrigerator. I don't know if that's true. I don't know why they wouldn't have just sold them to begin with, but maybe that was more profitable if people just rented them. So anyway, there's things like that. There's things like the cars, the electronics, appliances. There's prohibition going on at this time. So this is 3 episodes in. The first 2 episodes, I don't want to say they're slow, but they're it's kind of like setting up dominoes for the first 2 episodes, and then in the third episode, some of the dominoes start to fall. That's actually a pretty good analogy. So, and that's as far as I've got right now. The is the third episode. It looks like the fourth episode is setting up some stuff that I definitely want to check out. I like Harrison Ford in it. Helen Mirren is good. Like I said, the other people in it, I don't really know any of them, but they're all good. I don't also I know Dutton is the Like the Kevin Costner character is a Dutton, and Harrison Ford plays Jacob Dutton. I don't know if that's his grandfather or like his second uncle or how that works, but I mean, I know it's all part of the Dutton family. So this one I would give a 3 out of 5. Again, it kind of starts. It takes a while to get going. It's worth checking out. If you got Paramount Plus, it's worth giving it a look. I don't think it's worth subscribing just for that, but that's that. So thanks for checking this out, and like and subscribe. Okay, bye.